Hola, I'm Shelly Martinez, and you're watching the Pro Wrestling Top 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Top 5. Brought to you from the Wrestling Red Carpet. Starring the Showstopper, Shawn Valentino. Also starring Rich Twilling. Today's special guest star, former WWE Diva and TNA Knockout, supermodel Shelly Martinez. This week's episode, the top 5 moments from WWE Greatest Royal Rumble.
Hey everybody, Shawn Valentino, your host on the Pro Wrestling Top 5. And today we're going to review the top 5 moments from WWE, the Greatest Royal Rumble from Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, my broadcast partner Rich Twilling can't be with us today because he's still recovering from a major injury he suffered at WrestleMania during an independent match that's considered one of the greatest matches of all time. But ironically, at number 5, we're going to start out with the opposite of great. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the website Botchamania that showcases some of the great botches in wrestling history. But we saw one spectacular botch by Jinder Mahal in his match against Jeff Hardy. This was just absolutely ridiculous. Now, I'm not one to ever blame a wrestler for screwing up in the ring because it's such a risky sport that they're undergoing that there's always going to be mistakes that are bound to happen. But this mistake by Jinder Mahal was just absolutely inexcusable. And if you haven't seen it, it's going to be in my background. You have to see it to believe it because it's one of the most ridiculous botches and business exposing moves that I've ever seen. From the embarrassing to the athletically spectacular. And at number 4 on my list, we have Seth Rollins channeling Shelton Benjamin in the Money in the Bank match from 2006 at WrestleMania 22, where he just did this amazing springboard off the ropes onto the ladder. Unfortunately, in that match, the cameras kind of missed it, but this one, they caught it perfectly. I thought Rollins was absolutely amazing in his timing and his athleticism in the final spot of that Intercontinental Championship ladder match where he regained his title. That was just an incredible spot that you have to go out of your way to see. And speaking of WrestleMania 22, at number 3 on my list was a rematch from the main event of WrestleMania 22, and that was a match between John Cena and Triple H, which opened this show. And I thought it was a perfect opener. It really got the crowd into this show from the very beginning. Not that that was ever an issue because it seemed like the Saudi Arabian crowd was just so excited to see WWE live, but I thought that was the perfect match to open the show because you have two larger-than-life characters that know how to work a big match, and I thought they did a great job here. And I thought that original match that they had at WrestleMania 22 was a very underrated main event, and I thought that over 10 years later they did a great job of just showcasing that they still have good chemistry in the ring and they still have that athleticism as well as their larger-than-life characters that make them exciting to still watch, and I think they did a great job in replicating the magic that they showcased at WrestleMania 22. I thought that was the best match of the show. And at number 2 on my list was the match that I think had the least anticipation but the most intrigue, and that was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar in their rematch of their recent WrestleMania debacle that took place in New Orleans. I was there live. It was one of the most ridiculous spectacles I've ever seen because I've never seen a crowd so apathetic to a major main event. But I thought the WWE did a great job in booking this one because they've kind of booked themselves into the corner here because this was a match that nobody really wanted to see, and you couldn't really put Roman Reigns over because people just don't want to see him as champion. At the same time, Brock Lesnar is probably the least over that he's ever been, partially thanks to Roman Reigns' promos leading into WrestleMania, where he emphasized that Lesnar just really doesn't want to be there. So notice in this match they barely showed the crowd, so you couldn't really tell how the crowd was reacting to either wrestler. But I thought they did a good job of booking this match, and I thought the finale where Reigns spears Lesnar outside the ring and Lesnar wins just because he landed first was perfectly done. I think that they gave the crowd a satisfying finish and to give the crowd a reasonably exciting match that topped their WrestleMania debacle. And at number 1 on my list was the booking of the Greatest Royal Rumble itself. Obviously this was not the Greatest Royal Rumble, it was way too long. I thought they did a good job by having Braun Strowman win this contest. From the first time I saw Braun Strowman as a member of the Wyatt family, I knew he was going to be a huge star because he had this unique look and this larger-than-life aura that's sorely missing in today's WWE landscape. And I thought he was the perfect choice to win this Royal Rumble. And I thought there were some amazing spots, and there were some very crowd-pleasing moments from Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, who lasted longer than any other competitor. So I thought that WWE did a good job of booking this Royal Rumble. It might not have been the greatest, but it was a very solid Rumble for what it was. And I also think I'd like to give a 1A to the crowd and the atmosphere in Saudi Arabia. I thought the arena just looked absolutely beautiful. They did a great job in showcasing the enthusiasm of the Saudi Arabian fans, and I thought that it showed that WWE is just second to none when it comes to production value. They truly are an international company that has a following. So I thought more than anything what this show really did was to showcase WWE as a corporation as well as an international juggernaut that makes it pretty much impossible for any other wrestling company to compete. Hope all of you guys enjoyed this show and hope all of you enjoyed the WWE Greatest Royal Rumble. I was surprisingly entertained by the show. I thought they did a solid job of presenting all these gimmick matches in a way to appease the international audience while staying true to the characters in their week-to-week programming. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button and press subscribe, and we'll see you next week on the Wrestling Red Carpet.
Thanks for watching. We're desperately out of time.
Thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Top 5. See you next week on the Red Carpet.